Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope all of you are all in good condition. The Honorable Ms. Farunisha, MPD, and my beloved friends. Firstly, I'd like to thank to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala that has given us everything. So this time we can attend on this online meeting and we can do our activities today. Don't forget salawat serta salam. Don't forget the salawat and greetings we give to our Prophet Muhammad SAW that has brought us from the darkness to the brightness. Firstly, I wanna introduce myself and my friends. Let me introduce myself. I'm Annisa Nurjannah, and my friends Meriza Anggraini. On this opportunity, we will deliver the material about concepts of adapting material. On this presentation, Meriza Anggraini as the speaker one, and here I am as the moderator and the speaker two. The first material is defining adapting material. This material will be delivered by Meriza Anggraini. Meriza Anggraini, time is yours. Please, next slide. Sorry, the previous slide. Please do Meriza Anggraini.
Thank you, NJ. In this slide, have defining adapting material. Adapting material, the process of modifying, extending social and behavior change communication or SBCC material for a different audience. Topic or setting, manual, this involves more than just translating the material into the local language or modifying the artwork. Adapting material may include adjustment to the culture context, modify the message, or to the technical information. Material adaptation match material with the learner's needs, the teacher and demands and administration purpose. Please, next slide. In this slide, why should materials be adapted? Adapted from McDonald's, and so in there are some of the reasons of adapting. First, grammar is not present by the systematically. Reading passage contain too much known vocabulary. Comprehension texts are too easy or too difficult. Listening passage and inauthentic because they sound too much like written material being read out. Not enough guidance on pronunciations. Next, the context or subject matter is inappropriate for the learners. Next, photographs or picture are not actually so suitable. And next, amount of the material is too great or too little to cover in the time allocated to the lesson. No for the teacher on work and the role play activities with the large class, unless dialogue are too formal and not really representative of the everyday speech. Next. The objectivities of the adapting method to modify the materials in order to suit the local context and the learner's need. Second, to bring local wisdom, experience, and the students into the material. Next, to reflect learning style of the target learners. Next, be able to collaborate partners to adapting materials, and to and to incense to incense ensure the privilege for the teacher, learner, and the material expectedly, and last, to allow space for the creativity. Okay, I think enough explanation from me. Back to moderator.
Thank you so much, Meriza Anggraini, for the. Please, next slide. Next slide is what materials can be adapted. As can you see on this screen, there are materials can be adapted. The first, there is sequence of tasks. The second is activity types. Next, context, language. The fourth is image. Then text. Seperti kalian bisa lihat di screen, ada beberapa materi yang bisa diadaptasi. Yang pertama itu ada sequence of task. Jadi sequence of task ini adalah urutan tugas. Urutan tugas ini bisa kita ubah sesuai kebutuhan learner yang akan kita ajari. Kemudian ada activity types. Activity types ini juga bisa kita ubah itu sesuai juga dengan kebutuhan dari si learner. Context of language. Context of language tergantung sama language culture di masing-masing. Jadi culture adalah Indonesia, jadi konteksnya bisa pakai culture punya Indonesia. Terus image. Image ini kalau misalnya nggak cocok, itu bisa diganti juga. Gambar-gambar yang di modul atau di coursebook, textbook itu bisa diganti. Teksnya tuh bisa jadi dari fontnya. Fontnya misal kekecilan sehingga murid learnernya kurang bisa melihat atau bisa membaca, jadi bisa juga. Kemudian example-nya ini diganti dengan hal-hal dengan negara tersebut. Maksudnya negara learner itu belajar di mana. Jadi kalau kan kita jadi example-nya bisa pakai culture Indonesia. Question juga hampir sama kayak examples. Next. Next, there is techniques adaptation of materials. The first is adaptation. Adaptation is which involves submission of extra-linguistic items and activities to make up for insufficiency of materials. Jadi addition ini itu prosedur dari adaptasi yang dari si modulnya. Kemudian ada deletion atau omission atau bahasa Indonesia penghapus. Jadi deletion involves removal of some items and activities to be. Jadi yang enggak kepentingan itu bisa dihapus. Materi-materi penting yang enggak tidak suitable, tidak cocok dengan learner itu bisa dihapus. Kemudian ada teknik yang ketiga, ada modif atau changing. Modification here means change as the fourth is this process employed to make materials less complicated or easier to understand. Jadi, if the language teaching material is found to be difficult, technical for the target learner, can be made suitable for the learner through the process of simplification. Kemudian yang terakhir itu ada rearrangement atau reordering. Rearrangement is a procedure of materials adaptation through which different parts of a course book are arranged in a different order or rearrangement helps to make them interesting for the learner as well. Jadi rearrangement ini adalah gunanya untuk membuat kegiatan belajar mengajar lebih menarik sehingga para learner, para peserta didik bisa memahami materi tersebut. Please next slide. Next, there is criteria of materials adaptation. The first criteria is adaptation should facilitate instruction. Jadi, teachers sometimes find their authentic materials difficult and unsuitable to teach due mostly to lack of harmony in subject, incongruity of subject, and given teaching methodology. And the second, there is adaptation. Jadi sometimes learner complain that they cannot learn what they have studied during the term. Jadi kan kadang-kadang murid itu nggak paham apa yang dipelajari. Jadi adaptation ini harus encourage learning, harus memadai pembelajaran. Kemudian yang ketiga ada adaptation should focus on learner. Because authentic materials are not designed according to learners' need most often, learners give no special care towards what the materials convey, or it is difficult for learners to communicate with the content. Jadi, kriteria yang ketiga itu adaptasi, pengadaptasian harus fokus kepada learnernya. Jadi, fokus kepada need si learnernya, kebutuhan learner, yang kayak pernah kita pelajari sebelumnya. Terus, the fourth is adaptation should ensure relevance. Ya, jadi adaptasi itu harus memastikan relevansinya kepada si pelajar. Jadi apa yang ada di modul itu, materi-materi yang ada di modul, itu harus dipastikan relevansi sama kebutuhan si muridnya. Terus yang kelima ada adaptation should prompt flexibility. Jadi authentic materials ini maksudnya textbook aslinya yang belum di-adaptation itu are not as flexible as expected as the learner style, needs, and learning environments are sure to change. Ya, jadi authentic material yang tadi seperti saya sebutkan, kan authentic material itu ada textbook, ada coursebook, bisa audiobook gitu kan. Nah, itu tuh kadang nggak fleksibel apa yang diharapkan kepada pembelajar, kepada pelajar, kebutuhan pelajar. Jadi tentu saja harus diubah atau diadaptasi. Makanya kriteria yang kelima itu adaptasi seharusnya itu fleksibel kepada si pelajar. The last criteria for materials adaptation is adaptation in terms of motivationality. Jadi adaptasi yang dilakukan itu harus mengandung term motivasi. Mengandung term motivasi itu maksudnya itu the materials can motivate learners when all of the criteria are taken into account. Ya, jadi materi-materinya itu bisa membuat pelajar itu semakin bersemangat, semakin termotivasi untuk belajar. Jadi seperti itu. Itu adalah 6 kriteria for materials adaptation. Next slide, please. Next, there is drawbacks of materials adaptation. As you can see on this screen, there are some drawbacks. Drawback is kekurangan, lack of the materials adaptation. The first, there is adaptation is a time-consuming process. Jadi pengadaptasian itu membutuhkan proses yang lama. pasti ya. Jadi untuk mendapatkan materi yang terbaik buat si learner itu membutuhkan proses yang panjang karena kan kita harus mengetahui learner need-nya apa, terus learner wants-nya apa, learner luck-nya apa. Setelah kita mengetahui, kita menemukan materi authentic materi atau sebuah modul, sebuah textbook. Setelah kita lihat di textbook, setelah kita analisis si textbook, ternyata textbook-nya kurang cocok nih sama si needs-nya learner. Jadi kan kita harus ubah lagi, mana yang harus ubah. Nah, itu dapat time consuming, dapat memakan waktu. Kemudian yang kedua, there is adaptation needs professionality. Of course, kita kan adaptasi sebuah modul, sebuah materi. Adaptasi sebuah materi, yang materi itu kan udah dibuat sama sama penulis yang pastinya udah terbaik kan. Kita harus mengadaptasinya, pasti yang pengadaptasi juga harus lebih profesional daripada si authornya. Terus yang ketiga, there is adaptation cannot be universally and equally appealing. Jadi adaptation is a process which needs to be of local interest because of such factors as cultural differences, ethnicity, educational systems, peculiar environments of learning, materials appealing to one learner context may not be similarly attractive to another. Jadi adaptasi ini nggak bisa universalkan dan nggak bisa disamakan. Adaptasi materi di jurusan nursing, perawatan itu nggak bisa disamakan sama adaptasi materi yang di penerbangan karena kan beda needs-nya, beda wants-nya, beda luck-nya. Jadi drawbacks-nya itu adaptation cannot be universally and equally appealing. And next, there is adaptation may be affected by saturation of flexibility. Sometimes the people in charge of adapting materials go to extremes due mostly the lack of enough knowledge of the given materials, unfamiliarity with learning context, psychological concern, fatigue, lack of enough time, personal bias, and gender favoritism. Jadi kadang-kadang itu orang-orang tuh adaptasi materinya itu terlalu ekstrim. Maksudnya itu terlalu ekstrim loh. Maksudnya luck-nya itu jadi terlalu ekstrim jadinya nggak cocok. Nah gitu. Kemudian yang kelima ada adaptation fails to take into account all learners need equally. There is no denying that learners differ in needs. Jadi nggak bisa dipungkiri kalau misalnya needs-nya learner itu kan berbeda-beda. Jadi kadang-kadang tuh atau adaptasi itu gagal untuk mengambil si needs-nya learner, nggak sama. Needs-nya learner kan nggak sama, jadi adaptasinya gagal. Kemudian ada adaptation fails to be carried out on all types of materials. Jadi adaptasi ini gagal untuk membawa semua jenis materi. Ya, jadi adaptasinya itu drawbacks-nya itu adaptasinya gagal, nggak bisa membawa semua materi. Kemudian the last, there is adaptation may be impinged on by the materials adapters tastes. Jadi maksudnya itu sometimes people tend to select for adaptation those material they regard as suitable only because the topics are their favorites, overlooking the role of students. Ya, jadi adaptasi itu kurang, kan kadang-kadang kan orang tuh milih materi itu yang mereka sukai aja gitu. Nah, jadi adaptation itu, drawbacks-nya itu adaptation may be impinged on by the materials adapters tastes. Selera, maksudnya itu selera kan selera orang beda-beda nih. Orang-orang pengen belajar yang mereka sukai. Nah, saat kita membuat adaptasi, kita nggak bisa nyatuin semua kesukaan itu, karena pas kita, misalnya kita belajar, misalnya kita masukin adaptasi materi tentang daily conversation. Nah, di daily conversation itu ada yang sapaan. Ada beberapa anak yang suka sama materi sapaan, tapi ada beberapa anak yang nggak suka pada sapaan. Jadi adaptasi itu nggak bisa membawa semua semua kesukaan dari si pelajar. Okay, that's all for our presentations. I think it's enough. If you have questions, you can ask to us. We open questions and answer session, so you can ask to us that you can that there is material that you can understand.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I have question for your group. My name is Annisa Nurjannah. Why material evaluation is important? I think enough. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Thank you so much for your nice question, Anissa. Ada lagi yang ingin bertanya? Dipersilakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Annisa. I want to ask to the presenter. My question is, how do we make sure that materials achieve impact? Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Novanisa, for your best answer. Question. Anyone want to ask again?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Milena Sari, I have a question for presenter. How to support adaptability in teachers? Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Juliana, for your question.
My pleasure.
Please give us a moment to discuss this question. Here I wanna answer from Anisa's question. The question is, why material evaluation is important? Why? Because there are some reasons why it called important. The first reason is adaptation, material evaluation or adaptation is to identify the popular and successful features of existing materials, which will help us to produce better materials. The second reason is to choose suitable materials for language programmers. Next, to adapt the materials to make them better suit the needs of the students and the needs of teaching. And there is to identify how successful the materials used in the classroom are. And the fourth, to examine whether the materials fulfill the prescribed course. And the next reason is to examine the extent to which materials permit students to achieve learning objectives. And the last reason is to identify whether the designs of the materials are suitable for a task-based syllabus. That's the answer for Anisa's question. Is it clear, Anisa?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you, NJ.
Anytime. And next, here I want to answer Nova's question. The question is, how do we make sure that materials achieve impact? How? So impact is achieved when materials have a noticeable effect on learners. That is when the learners' curiosity, interest, and attention are attracted. If this achieved, there is a better chance that some of the language in the materials will be taken in for processing. That's my question. I mean, that's my answer. Did you get my point, Nova Anissa?
Yes, NJ, I got the point. That's very clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the last question is from Yulanasari. The question is how to support adaptability in teachers. So the answer is inviting teachers input in decision. Kalau tadi kan how ada beberapa cara untuk support adaptability in teachers. Ada 3. Yang pertama, inviting teachers input in decisions. The second, providing teachers with choices in curriculum and policy development, listening to teachers' perspectives. And the last, expressing confidence in teachers' ability have been highlighted as supportive of teachers' sense of empowerment and belonging in the workplace. Okay, that's my answer. Is it clear, Yuliansari?
Thanks, NJ. That's clear.
Anytime. Okay, that's all. The question and answer session has been answered all, and I think it's enough for this presentation. My friends and I really sorry that there are a lot of mistakes from us. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.